Hello YouTubers, I'd like to share the rug I wove with you guys. Here. So this is the rug I wove. I started here weaving a pattern called the line of a smile. As you can see, these are like teeth that makes a smile. So I wanted to start my rug with something very happy and something that I like. So also I decided to weave like the most cultivated grains in the world now, and here first we have corn, which is like the gift that our ancestors gave to the world. And I like making this joke because corn is now the most cultivated grain by far, and first you know, the Europeans started giving corn to their cows, and I joke with tourists saying that now they're trying to give corn to feed corn to their cars. But anyway, this is rice, this is wheat, this is barley, this represents sorghum, this represents millets, and the last one is oats. So I really wanted to like weave a very nice rug for my last rug in Mexico. So I spent a lot of time thinking every single part, thinking about what should I do, how should I do it, and here I put a layer of like texture that represent that feels like the rose in a cornfield. And this pattern over here, it's a tribute to the ancient grasses, and most of the grains that we eat now come from like ancient grasses, and we owe a lot to the ancient grasses that fed our ancestors during the hard times. And also, like, I learned that just like by picking up the seeds and by saving them, we practically change the nature of these grasses and transform them. And by doing agriculture, we have like transformed the entire surface of the earth. And so this is a tribute to the ancient grasses. These little things represent grasses. And like all these are natural dyes as well. The red comes from the blood of the bug called cochineal, I guess. Which, you know, also like it was very valued. And when the Europeans came to Mexico, they were really amazed about our colors, especially in the walls of Mitla, which were dyed with red using this cochinilla, and the walls were polished as to be as shiny as mirrors, and this amazed the Spanish people, and they started exporting cochineal to Europe, and it made a big business for them. And that's why Oaxaca City made a lot of wealth and money because of the trade in cochineal. Anyways, like this white part here is just raw wool, just carded as it is, and then I just wove a plain part here, and I like the contrast of the white and the pinkish from the cochineal. these are like the mountains, and where we live in Teotitlán del Valle, um, we are surrounded by mountains in this valley, and also like from the beginnings of our like tribe or town, they say that the Zapotecs probably were living with the Toltecs in the north, in the central, of Mexico City, of Mexico, and they started a pilgrimage at some point because of the war of the gods. So Quetzalcoatl guided some people, and they went south. So they went in the mountains. They were walking for many years. So the tale is that when they arrived to a certain peak in Teotitlán del Valle, called Yavetz, when they arrived to this mountain, their god came from the sky in the form of a bird and talked to the priest, to the town, and he gave them this land that we now live on, and he gave it to the Zapotecs as a gift, and that's why mountains are so important in our history. And also for me it tells like this is a gift from the gods, so from God, whatever. um, so we need to take care of it because it's not our land. It's a gift, and yeah, that's why I love mountains. And when I was finishing here at the end, I decided to wove like the so-called hockey stick, because with the environmental awareness that's going on now, you know, this could represent CO2 levels and how in the last couple of years it has gone up. But also, like, what I've been thinking about is that, you know, in the past they say the earth was covered, was when it was hit by a meteorite, you know, gases and smog covered the sun. So like way before humans we still had global warming, CO2 increases. So I don't know, I think about all these things after I wove my rug. Another thing here, this part is supposed to represent like the different materials that we use, starting with fire. Like for me it's amazing just to think about, wow, how did our great grandparents discovered fire? And there are many theories and ideas about it, but it's really amazing how by the discovering of fire we started to like use other types of materials, and we basically changed our, I don't know, our way of life. That's when it really started to take off, I guess. This part represents logs of wood, you know. This part represents like stones, different stones, like a wall. And then this line over here, it represents fire again, because the next line represents metals, and in order to melt the metals we needed to improve our knowledge about fire and how to get higher temperatures. This line over here represents oil, petroleum, and the last part, it's supposed to represent microchip design. So like in a big picture for me, those are like the most representative materials that we humans have used for this so-called progress and modern world.